Ok ragazzi, bentornati, sono Francesco di AoSCrusaders e oggi siamo qui per un video molto molto speciale. Ho un ospite internazionale che spero conosciate, io conosco molto bene, ammiro molto, e si tratta di Rob di Honest Wargamer. Hi Rob, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
You're very welcome. I'm very excited to have you here. And yeah, just use our time during this boring quarantine to talk about some toy soldiers, right?
It's basically all I've done with my time.
Yeah, exactly. Talking, painting, building, whatever.
Yeah, which is fun. At some point I might try and get another hobby, but I don't think that's going to be today. Maybe like day 160. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, until we get crazy, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had this crazy idea I talked to you about in the last few days about just having a little talk together and exploring your experience in Warhammer and in the UK and in general over the world, whatever you have been actually. And the first thing that came to my mind was actually, how did you start the hobby? What was your first input? What got you into Warhammer basically?
Okay, cool. One of my friends, who I played World of Warcraft with, and then later we played Guild Wars. We were like, "Look, we need to get out of the house." So he came over to mine. He brought a box set, a starter box. We played Orcs and Goblins versus. I can't remember, if I'm honest with you, but I just remember I made all of his spiders run, and I felt like a legend. Uh, and then I live 10 minutes away from Warhammer World, so because I live in
Oh,
Nottingham, so
cool.
I yeah, so we went over there, and that's before they had the big refurb, and we went in there, and I was like, this is awesome. There was a pub, it was a castle. I was
Mm.
like, this is fun. But the bit that really sold it to me was they had all the different armies painted up,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
and it was
that
just
what
really,
gets us all maybe.
yeah, so good. So and it was really evocative, really cool. So I really enjoyed seeing that. So and I've read fantasy books and sci-fi books my whole life. So I saw those and I thought I so want to get into this. So then we ended up buying an army each. I bought ogres. He had orcs and goblins. We played a bunch, and then I played with a few more of my friends, and then it just snowballed from there. And that was only about maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, cool. So what was like seventh edition
Eighth
fantasy, eighth
edition. Eighth
edition?
edition. Yeah.
Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, me myself, I just had a little like tiny experience when I was probably 11 or 12 years old, and it was, I think, end of sixth edition. I got into it because a friend of mine just played like you maybe, and then I kind of fell in love with Wood Elves, and then I started buying some stuff, but really having no actual idea what was I was doing, what I had to build, what I had to do to start painting, and it was just a mess. I had no idea how to play. I just saw this massive book. I couldn't figure a single rule from it. I just saw just games and minis, and it looked awesome, and I was like trying my best to keep up with everybody, but I just couldn't really paint. I couldn't really um, get into list building and stuff. So I gave up, and then came back to it like 3 years ago or something. So yeah,
How's it
it's
been
really
getting back
cool.
into it?
Awesome. I mean, I remember seeing stuff on YouTube like in 2017, 2018, maybe 2017, I think. And I just got back to be really excited about it and went into Games Workshop in September maybe, and then going the Sylvanet way. That was my first army and my first love, I would say. And then yeah, it's. I mean, I found out that I was actually able to paint like everyone else, just with a little patience and exercise. And yeah, it's been true love ever since then. And then I kept building armies, going to play games in clubs and stuff, tournaments and whatever. And then that got me to here, and I'm really actually excited to see what the future of the game will be. Hopefully after this long break.
Yes, big long break. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be very different when we all go back. Absolutely. Mainly,
yeah,
everyone's armies will be painted. That'll be good.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been painting some stuff, but I hope to do more. But I actually was kind of in a big painting moment at first, and then started fading out a little bit, and now I'm like just looking at my gray stuff right here. And I don't know. I should go back to it, but I have time to focus and start painting again. Are you working on something actually right now?
Yes, I am painting blue and pink horrors, much to everyone's upset, I imagine. But I'm going to paint those up, and then I am painting up 3 lots of 9 untamed beasts. You know, the Warcry warbands.
Cool. Yep.
So I've got those. Actually, let me just do this. There you go. So he's not doing too bad there. Don't know if you can see. So
yeah.
I'm pretty happy with him. He's pretty decent. So looking forward to getting those done. They're great in any Chaos army. So I'm looking forward to those.
Their pre-game move is like awesome.
Yeah, so good. So really happy with those. And then I've got loads to do, but I'm creating lots of stuff at the minute as well, which is exciting. So I haven't really got maybe as much time off as everyone else. So I'm fitting it in around working, which is fine because I really enjoy and love what I do. So it's good. Yeah,
awesome. So the second question that came to my mind was, since you are a very experienced person, I would say, I mean, kind of a legend here in the hobby world. I mean, people from even around here know who you are, know your website, and that's really awesome. I think to have achieved such a good coverage of the hobby side and the match play side of things. So what was your experience from being, I mean, part of the UK community as a player and maybe content creator, if you could define that yourself, and how was it different from, I don't know, Australia or I don't know, the US, where you've been to see other communities maybe?
So the thing about all of the communities is that they're all awesome. And I know that sounds really, really boring as an answer. But one of the things that you find, like for instance, you and me are talking on the phone, Dillinger Escape Plan poster in the background. I'm a big fan of those. But we're all very, very different, which I think is really great. I think it's, you've got people from all different walks of life and careers and backgrounds, but then we all share something really similar. And when you go to these communities, all the people are pretty much the same, and they are like, it's overwhelming how friendly and kind and open and everyone is. And then it's you really become everyone's friend really, really quickly. It goes from like, oh, it's nice to meet you, to making jokes at each other's expense, having fun, getting to know each other, like finding out about their lives. And I mean, I've been lucky enough with what I do to travel around, which has been sensational. And but I don't think I've found any difference between any of the communities. They're all their own, but it's like they're all their own flavour, which is good. So they're everywhere I've been has been brilliant. Loved it. So and the UK is the same as Ireland or Australia or Canada or anywhere else, or Sweden. It's just great people. It sounds
that's very good to hear.
It sounds really boring. Like everyone's really nice.
Good boring, I would say. Yeah.
yeah. And everyone's got their own quirks. Like the Americans are super different to the Aussies. The Aussies are kind of similar to the Irish. Actually, I find the Swedish are their own amazing thing. And there's a huge French community as well. I know that. I know there's also a huge Italian community. Oh. So I've been trying to keep track of that as well. But obviously we have the language barrier issue. So one of the things that I would like to do over the next few months is to start to be able to talk to those communities where I can't speak their languages, but they can, because getting everyone on the same page is really exciting, I think.
Yeah. It's very good to hear. To even, I mean, I would say we're kind of a big family of wargamers that are actually really, really friendly to each other, and then we can just go out and, I don't know, have a beer after playing a game and talk about anything else. And it's really good to hear that that these ties that tie us all around the game go beyond the game, and then just have us all just be on the same page on whatever subject we may talk about. And it's really actually my experience also. I mean, from being around Italy a little bit, I've met really cool people everywhere, and it's really heartwarming to find that out, because maybe you're just traveling from somewhere else in the world, or just in the country, and then you're not familiar with places, with faces, with anything else. But you just find yourself at home, because everyone else here shares the same passion you do, and we're just on the same page from really the first second you meet everyone in any kind of community, really. So it's really, really cool to hear that it works like that also around the world, not even inside countries.
Yeah, I think the nicest part is when people from different countries get to know each other. I mean, a lot of us obviously talk online, so whether that be in forums or on Twitter or on Facebook, or WhatsApp groups, there's another good example. But you honestly start to become really, I think you communicate with these people quite a lot, that they're a part of your life, which I think is great.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I found out about WhatsApp groups, like, I don't know, like 6, 7 months ago. I remember getting to the Sylvanet group and seeing Laurie Yoggett Wild was there. And I remember knowing him from back when he played the Phoenix list.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, holy shit. I mean, he replied when I say, like, hi, everybody, welcome. I'm really honored to be here, whatever. And I was like, holy shit, Laurie Yoggett Wild responded to me. And I was like, nice to meet you in person. You're like a freaking personality, I mean, for me. So, and it was amazing to see that he was like, nah, shut up, and just a random dude, so really nothing special.
I agree. I often wish Laurie would shut up more. Like, that's an honest feeling I have.
Yeah.
No, Laurie's awesome. Yeah, really great.
Yeah. Everyone, I mean, really everyone has always been really, really nice to whoever comes up in those groups. So it's a good tie to keep us on. And yeah, so as you said, we have a pretty good community right now in Italy. I would say from a little more than a year or so, we have been really, I think growing in general, growing from a player number point of view, from the quality and quantity of tournaments and events in general. We've had our first actual 2-dayer in October in Milan. You probably heard about it.
Yes, I did.
And it was really cool. I mean, props to the guys from Lega Chaos, Championship of Age of Sigmar, who are doing a really great job actually about it. Mainly doing the connection from all those different realities we have here, because the main problem is that we have some medium to small realities everywhere, kind of everywhere in the country. I would say the most players are in the north. We have some players here in Rome, some other players in the center of Italy, like Pescara or Tuscany or Bologna. But the good thing is to get us all in touch. So now I have friends from Turin, from Pescara, from Bologna, and it's nice to talk about them, to talk to them, and just to go to tournaments and then meet them. Because we had a second 2-dayer in February in Pescara, and that was amazing as well. And I just hope we can go back to that after all this COVID bullshit and start a new really amazing season in September.
I think that's what everyone's feeling. I think everyone around the world feels exactly the same, and I think we'll get there. It's just got to be some patience and time. And my love to everyone in Italy, or anyone in the world who's having to deal with it right now. So, but we all get to do it together, which is the only nice bit,
that's
maybe.
cool. That's cool. Yeah. So, thinking about our community here, seeing it grow in the last couple of years, I had a question. It's kind of an open question, also a kind of a hard question, I would say, because I was thinking, how does one grow its own community? What can individuals do? What can groups do? If you can, I don't know, if you can think about steps that a community must take to, reach the UK standard for, say, we have. I personally and lots of my friends have a really big understanding of what's going on in the UK, and it looks really freaking awesome to have a lot, like 2-dayers every 2 or 3 weeks, and just seeing the amazing coverage you do, and it's really, really I would say, a landing point for a community to be at. So is there any way we can like point out to some key aspects or key transitions a community has to go through to grow in a positive way, if you think of some?
Sure. I mean, so one of I'm lucky when I get to go and do event coverage. In really what I'm doing is someone will have got me to that event to do the coverage. So often the people that have done that are community leaders themselves. So I don't really consider myself to be someone who's built up in a particular place or even a group of places. So you've got really great organisers, and there are literally too many to name, in all of the different key places all over the world. Much like you guys, and much like the guys that put on the event, like you were talking about in Milan. I think one of the really important bits is something you sound like you're already doing, is making everyone talk to each other. Like that's one of those key elements that I think is really positive. Like I think constant news is also really good as well. Like Laurie is a really good example, as you brought up earlier. One of the things that obviously I've done on the Honest Wargamer, or when we did coverage, is I talked about these people. I went on about them for a while. I introduced. I was like, "There's this person from this place. There's this guy from this place," and you start to be able to create. A bit like putting a jigsaw piece puzzle into a jigsaw. You slowly start to create the environment for people, so they start to understand, they have some jokes, you have a bit of a laugh. And I think that's really important as well. Not just, I played some guy, I played this particular guy, and I'm going to tweet about it, and I'm going to put a picture up of us, and the other guys at the event are doing the same, or I'm going to beat you, like a bit of rivalry. So I think communication between everyone will help build up a community, because that's what I see. The most vocal communities generally, like the UK and like Australia, for example, they do that. Sweden and some other places are a little bit different. Like maybe they all message each other in Swedish. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Probably. But I think also rallying around community leaders is also really important as well. Like if there's someone who's trying really hard to put events on or organize video things or anything like that, is there, you should give them your support if you can. It's like, is there anything we could do? Oh yeah, is there any chance you could update this website? Yeah, no problem. Can we help you with this other thing? Yeah, could we help you set up tables? Any support that you can give to those events, that would be like, if there's someone willing to organize it, which is the hardest part, then and you've got a day free or some hours free where you can help them. I think that's the other bit as well. Like a lot of the events that you can think of here in the UK, like Bobo, for example, loads of people help and support that event, and that's why it's growing. CanCon, another great example. Adepticon,
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Another great example. It's people helping. There are so many volunteers who work at those events, help put stuff on, organise stuff. So I'd say that's probably one of the key bits you could do. Communicate, help, and support. Those are the things. Yeah. But again, I do.
Yeah.
I'm quite different to what everyone else. Not different, but I don't necessarily. I go and support those communities as opposed to necessarily individually help them, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you're a big kind of bond creator, because I think the website and the channel and the streams is something that everyone from around the world can access and then talk about, confront themselves about, and it does all the things you're talking about, just creating communication, creating ties, and I mean that's one of the awesome things about what you do, I would say, and it's really important to actually acknowledge the work that TOs do about organizing and stuff, because I've seen it from Pescara. In Pescara in February, we know very well the brothers who organize everything in Pescara. They're really amazing, really fun people, and they did an amazing job just carrying tables, preparing them, having just an hotel have us and have all the tournament inside it. It was just an amazing job to allow people to have an amazing and positive experience about the tournament. and just creating the good things to have a second edition of that in the next year, next season, and just creating just, I would say, a tradition. But that's something that I see in the UK. You have just your fixed calendar of tournaments every year, so everyone knows, okay, in this month you have that, in that month you have that. So everyone is like really looking forward to living that calendar and just going to events and meeting the people you meet during events. And that's really a big part of it, making friends. I've had the chance to a couple times have people saying, "Oh yeah, I know you. I saw your channel, blah blah blah," and I was really humbled, and it was really cool to see that this tiny bit of work I'm trying to do helps people, and I don't know, entertains people as well, keeps them interested in the hobby, and yeah, I mean, a little bit trying to do a couple of percentage of what you do is just really a big a big goal for me.
Yeah, making people happy and connecting people is such a huge positive experience. Like I'm always overwhelmed by how nice people are and how much help people offer and want to support things. So I think it's wonderful to see that happen. So yeah, those are the people that make up the hobby, which is just great.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. And from like from a smaller point of view, do you think local clubs and probably local communities can help in this kind of process? Just creating new ties, maybe new occasions to meet other people.
Yeah, I think so. Like one of the groups I always think about, obviously, is the WS10 guys in the UK, which are a wargaming group. But then I also think about groups like the Scribes of War. I think about the Scottish guys. They always tend to go around in groups. I think one of the things that WS10 guys do really well and why they've seen their numbers swell, and that's also true of the Scribes guys or the South London Legion guys or a bunch of guys that you have in the UK, or if you go over to Australia and you look at the Sydney guys, you look at the Brishammer guys, what they tend to do is they tend to get a group, a smaller group, a club, like you've said, and then they just make everyone in their group go to an event with them. They're like, we're all
Yeah,
going to this event. And it's like, it's my first time. It's like, doesn't matter. And then
yeah,
that team feeling, that feeling of being part of a group is so wicked. People love it.
yeah,
So actively trying to drag your group to events. And I think once that starts to happen, everything starts to snowball and explode. Everyone's like, I can't wait to go. They get more people in. They drag more people. Everyone goes. Everyone has fun. Get them to put loads of pictures out, put loads of messages out, like talk about it a lot. And then everyone goes, that looks like a really great time. Then they go along. They see it's a really great time.
yeah. That's what we tried to do for this 2 day we had in February, because in our like little group we are, I would say like 10 something people, active players, and we were really like, everyone was really hyped about the tournament, because since October I was the only one from our group to go up to Milan to do the 2 day, and I came back just so excited about how it was and just looking forward to any other occasion to have such tournaments. And so we knew about the Pescara tournament, and then we really all got excited, just started dragging everyone else to just participate and come. So then, and the actual event, we were, I would say, 5 or 6 people, maybe, I can't remember. And it was really cool to be there. Everyone really had a good time. Really, just besides all the results from games and everything, even though, I mean, we really didn't care about the tournament itself. It was just the experience of it. And of course, everyone wanted to win, whatever. But even though you just did what you did, you just came back home so happy about it. I remember the trip back was really like the perfect example, because we were super tired, super like burnt off about gaming, whatever. But we've been 2 hours in the car, and we just kept talking about Age of Sigmar all the time, listing and whatever. We were even more excited than before. So it's just something that, yeah, just like you said, it's snowballing, because you start it and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you want to go back to it, and it just drags you in. It's just an amazing feeling, really.
Yeah, it is, and I think sometimes you have to go to the events to understand it. And once you have that excitement, that enthusiasm, like the very first time you went to a sporting event or anything like that, it fires you up and you get so passionate. And it's, I mean, I've been like while I've been doing coverage or just playing at a tournament, I've been beside myself, like waiting for someone else's results that don't affect me. I'm just excited about their game to come in. And I think it doesn't even matter. Like there's like nothing happens after this, but it does. It matters to us in the moment. It matters to us in the time. It's really fun. It's so cool. So cool.
Yeah. And I mean, I really hope this next season can be a big step up, because we are trying to set up more 2-dayers. We will still have the one in October. We will still have the one in February in Pescara. We are trying. We have. I mean, they have. They had a 2-dayer tournament scheduled for mid-April in Turin, but it's 100% not going to happen because of this quarantine stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, either it gets postponed or it gets just happens next year. It's okay otherwise. But we are really trying to get a kind of a routine going here as well. So hopefully we can work to this result, and maybe, I don't know, next year we can talk and say, yeah, we had like these amazing tournaments and whatever, and you've heard about them, and hopefully we can try to have a little place in the international community. Actually, it's sad to hear about the ETCs being cancelled. I heard about it a couple of days ago. But yeah, that's sad, but it's actually important to have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those events are, I mean, I think are a good example of chances to meet new people from around the world and just tie in the community even more, probably.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think large scale international events probably will be the future. I also think team events probably will be the future of competitive wargaming. I'm very excited about that, very much so. We were going to cover some team events. We're going to do Six Nations, LGT, all which were going to be team events, and we've been working super hard on the best format to show to an audience those team events. So a little bit disappointed that that's not happening now, but really excited about doing it in the future. So it's still there, and if anything, that gives us time to prep and do better, which is going to be very, very good. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, let's hope we can just prepare better during this time and come out and be even more of an amazing community than we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you have anything else you wanted to say? Shout outs, whatever?
No, just if you are like anywhere, like you touched on the website a little bit, which I thought was really nice. One of the things for me about the website goes back to when I first started playing Warhammer. And as I said, it wasn't that long ago. I used to go on forums a lot, and it was just, you just had to read so much. Or even those WhatsApp chats you were talking about, while it's good for maybe individual bits of advice, holistic answers to events and ideas and lists specifically, or units, aren't really good. So we created that website. It took a long time to work it out and put it together.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But we created that website so people can use it, and there's no reason that it can't be used in other languages as well. Like I wouldn't know what was said if everyone started writing Italian lists, but I think it would be worthwhile. And if someone wants to go on there or has a grasp of English and can go to Italian and take some of those lists and translate them and how they work, or the other way around, if just people want to put Italian lists on there, I think that would be really great, because I think it's a really great place to and it's all free, doesn't cost any money. I don't get any money from it. I just pay to host it every year, so it's like I get nothing from it. It's just a good way. It's just a good way of doing it, I think. So that's probably the one thing I'd like to shout out. I think that is a really helpful tool for everyone to learn and share ideas. That's what I think. I don't know if anything else exists like it. I know there are forums and stuff, but I think
the only kind of similar thing I can think about was the Bad Dice site that had a little bit of a list in the past, but it's kind of not really been going on, I think, lately. I mean, AoSCrusaders is just amazing, but does something different from what you do on the website, I would say.
Yeah, because it gives it gives people, it gives you, if you're listening, gives you the opportunity to create your own list, but also explain how you think it works. Which there'll be some really great gamers in Italy, and I would like to hear how they think about the game, because how they think about the game is different to how everyone else feels about the game.
Yeah. So, where can people find you if they don't know you actually?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter is at 6diceskills, or you can watch us live on the Honest Wargamer on Twitch, which is my preferred method because I like it when people ask questions, join the chat. Just like we were talking about earlier, we were able to grow a community, and I think that's my favourite way of doing it. Which is, or you can listen to the podcast as well if you wanted to.
Yeah. Podcasts are a big thing for me. I really love listening to podcasts, especially when I'm driving. Sometimes I have big drives for work stuff, and then I just go and listen to I don't know, Facehammer or the guy from New Zealand, or just people from Australia. It's just really awesome content to just sit down and listen to, and then think about it afterwards. And just really, I find it really a good way of keeping up on new stuff and new lists and reviews and whatnot. So yeah. So, and obviously they can find you on the www.thehonestwargamer.com, of course, for lists and the workbook, which I think is amazing.
Oh.
And yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Please do.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, check the site. It's amazing. I would say I go on it probably every day or something, just to see if their new lists are up and to read them and then think about them. It's just really exciting to check out all this different stuff. And yeah, I mean, thank you again so much, man, for having me, being my guest here and just giving us your cool advice and opinions and thoughts.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for asking me as well. So it's really
no problem.
It's really humbling actually, and anyone who listens or knows, it's really nice, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, don't be scared to message Rob about anything, because he's an amazing guy, really a person just like us. So we'll get back to you, and I'll
probably get back to you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Nice. All right. Thank you so much.